All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Excellent, man. Your mic, as we mentioned earlier this week, man, sounds amazing. Really, really nice.
It's amazing what happens when the acoustics in your office change, huh?
Yeah, it's incredible. So, because it's the same mic, nothing's changed. I've seen the mic you have. We both have the same mic, and man, what a
Yep.
difference. All right, guys, I'm looking forward to this morning. There's a lot of nice stocks here in this watch list, so can't wait to get into them. AMD, Apple, again, just a lot on here. Some that are doing well. We got one here that's doing pretty bad, so we'll see what's that about. But again, looking pretty good this morning. Very excited about that. I know we had even some earnings last night. Starbucks was one of them. So looking forward to see what that's gonna do. It's funny about Starbucks though. It had gapped down before, 2 days before the earnings, at least. So we'll look into that. But first, let's look at our watch list from yesterday. We had quite a bit on here that traded very, very well, guys. Let's start with let's get our 1 minute up here, 1 minute in our five for the morning yesterday. All right, here we go. So here's XLRN. This one here, this was not probably out of all the ones we had, this is probably one that traded the worst. Had probably one of the worst opens. Later on, it gave you a great opportunity, a nice little sell-off here, and that was nice because again, this stock had gapped up huge, hitting up to 91.08 as high, all-time high, and then from there, it just sold down the entire pre-market. And then here just chopped around, but look what happens. Once you lose that low of the pre-market, that 78 we had, look how nice that was. So again, nothing good at the open here. But then here, once it lost this, you can see the volume coming in, and you can see just it dropping nice. So if you're still around for that time, that could have been a great trade. LK's had a choppy open. It did settle down, but this candle here was very choppy. If you look at the 1 minute, it looks a lot cleaner. If you trade off the 1 minute, you could probably had a fallen angel. I'm sorry, a rising devil here opportunity there. But overall, if you're looking for only opening range breakups, those were a little tough to take yesterday. It did sell down below the VWAP and then it came back up. So you did have some opportunities. This reversal here is nice as well. Host of VIA, you could have had an opportunity there also. PFE was a beautiful opening range breakdown, guys. Look at this beautiful opening range on the 5. Look at this beautiful pullback. This is what we like to see. We love to see that pullback towards the moving averages and the VWAP. That's a great entry for a short on the way back down. If you look at the 1 minute, this thing just was hesitant to stay above the VWAP. Every time it sold above the VWAP, it came right back down. You get this beautiful drop. You don't jump in here, guys. You don't chase this. Right, this is where a lot of people get caught. They chase the move, wait for the pullback. You're going to get it, and if you don't get it, so what? We look for another stock to trade. Right, wait for this pullback. Keep the difference between getting an entry here and here is huge. Right, that could be the difference between you staying in this trade in control or being or emotional about chasing a trade. So just wait for that pullback is very, very important. Hog was another one, a great opening range breakup, and again, look at the move here. Don't chase this move. Wait for the pullback. You're going to get it. If you don't get it, then you find something else. So beautiful pullback down here to the VWAP. That is your entry anywhere in here towards the break of the high of the day. And then look at how beautiful this thing trades. Again, just wait for that setup. It actually got a nice ABCD pattern here. It doesn't run much, right? It doesn't run as much here, but you did get a couple cents out of that. Tesla was a bit choppy, guys. It had a nice pop of the 1 minute, but there was no continuation on that second 5 minute candle because this one got pretty extended. So no continuation there. Sells back down below the VWAP, and it actually becomes a beautiful short play here because look at this. It pops up, gets below the VWAP. It cannot stay above the VWAP. Continue to test it several times. You could have had an entry here or also here for a possible short play, and it heads down nicely towards this moving average on Tesla. Uber was an amazing opening range breakdown as well, guys. Look at this thing opened up, shot up, couldn't hold these levels over here, came right back down. And then here you get the pullback before the 5 minute, and this happens sometimes, right? You get the pullback within the 5 minute candle, a small one right here. That could have been a great entry for a short as well. You can see a beautiful drop on here. Check out Andrew's recap. He did an amazing trade on this Uber play here. And these were possibles. I actually traded JD, so if you check out my recap as well. This one also great opening range breakdown. And then a beautiful pullback right here. Again, what we're looking for, that pullback for us to take a possible play. You don't want to chase the move. Wait for it to give you a pullback so you can get in a good, comfortable area with a good entry. So again, just tons of stocks, guys. That we have more possibles on here that I'm not going to go into, but I know there was just a lot for us to watch, which is great because we can be picky and be very selective of the stocks we're going to watch and trade when we have options. Let's look at the SPY, Norm. What do we have going on as far as the market?
Yeah, SPY this morning is up a little over 1/3%, so pretty decent gap up on the morning. We've made about half, a little bit more than half of the way back from the original start, from the previous all-time high where we started to drop with the coronavirus fears. To be noted, the Hong Kong Stock Exchange had been closed for a bit for the Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year. That reopened yesterday, and it dropped essentially 3% immediately and closed around that. So they took a hit. They have not, they have not been trading through this, and they finally, I guess, caught up to the rest of the world on it when they reopened. So that's what's going on as far as markets currently. Today, a couple of things. Pending home sales comes out at 10 a.m. And then the Fed will have their Federal Open Market Committee uh, rate policy decision. That'll be announced at 2 p.m. sharp this afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
followed by a press conference with Chairman Jerome Powell at 2:30. So it goes without saying, we talk about it whenever this happens. Not a whole lot's expected out of this really, but for instance, I will be completely flat and hold no positions when that happens, just because you have no idea how it's going to go.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. You want to be very, very cautious with that. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's see what we have here. Let's start over with our gappers list trade ideas. We have LB this morning. So LB here is at a well, it's got some good volume. It's got some good volume here. 604,000 shares traded right now. It is up 11%, almost 12. Was high probably as 15. As you can see, all the way up here, our high of the day is at 23.80. We're sitting at 23. So again, nice big pop here. Norm, I'm expecting there's some earnings on this type of move today. Norm?
Sorry,
Oh yeah.
sorry. I was on mute for just a second. Actually, no, they don't have earnings, but the president of their company is who has kind of been hit. It looks like they're looking for strategic alternatives, could be a sale or restructuring, something of that nature. And the CEO of their company is stepping down. So they've been just annihilated over the last couple of years. They own, amongst other things, Victoria's Secret, and their stock has really taken a hit. So the CEO leaving and some change happening is seen as possible refreshing the brands.
All right, perfect. So we'll take a look at this. We have traded this one before in the past. It does trade very well when it is in play. Obviously, today they got some news here, some positive news, which you can definitely keep an eye on. Let's take a look at MPC this morning. MPC is up 153. I'm sorry, 55. No, 3%. Sorry, look at the wrong numbers here. Is 153,000 shares traded, and it is up 3%, 4% here right now. Oh, but the pre-market actually is not looking great. There's not a lot going on here. So again, look at the pre-market right now. You got a couple of candles, but again, just not really any great activity. So when we talk about a clean pre-market action, we want to see kind of a flow here. Is this a foreign stock? It looks
No, this is Marathon Petroleum. They reported earnings this morning,
okay. Okay.
and they beat their earnings amazingly well, but they had a one-time charge, I believe, that their year-over-year comparison is pretty awful. So, but they did beat analyst estimates on this.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll keep an eye on it because they do have some news on it. Right now, it's not looking
It's
all that great. Go ahead.
it's these oil companies. A lot of times, these oil companies are not the best trading stocks ever.
Yeah, yeah, they could be very choppy, and the volume could be very low as well. So we'll keep it on here for now, and then we'll see what we got next on our gap list. Actually, you know what? No, we're not going to keep it on here. The reason why is because I'm already seeing some of the names we have here. There's some really good names on
Yeah,
this
we've got
list.
we've
Yeah,
got a big day coming up.
let's not mess around with this. Like Andrew would call it, garbage stocks. Let's look at PCG here. We have 185,000 shares traded so far. We are up 3.5. Pre-market is not great, but we've seen this before over and over on PCG, and somehow is managing to still crawl out of this hole that has been in at $4, and look how it is at now 15. So slowly he's making some good moves here. Now I have not checked out the intraday plays. I'm not sure how it's been doing here. We'll keep it on here. Let's see how this pre-market develops. And then if we have time towards the end, we'll go back and look how he traded yesterday and probably the day before to see if we're getting some good movements out of that throughout the intraday. Let's look at BA this morning. 868,000 shares traded. We are up
Just a note real
3.1.
quick on
Yep.
PCG, most of this has to do with restructuring, but to note they did also get a slight price target upgrade yesterday.
Mm.
Um, so just heads up on that.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Again, so this has been really cranking it here, slowly but surely. They're making their way
Yep.
up. They closed the gap that they had here that was very significant, and just they're slowly clawing their way back up here. So we'll see. It'll be interesting in a couple of weeks. What's this going to look like? You know, these guys were trading up at $50, I believe $60 before the incident with the fire. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Here is BA this morning. He's got some activity. Got a good pre-market action at the moment. Again, BA doesn't move much really in the pre-market unless there's something going on, Norm. So what do we have going on with BA this morning?
Earnings this morning.
Ah,
That and their new CEO has been parading around on CNBC doing an interview over there for a while. So
hmm,
they had earnings this morning. I don't. I mean, they took a hell of a loss. They really their earnings were even worse than expected.
hmm.
That having been said, the CEO came out, like I said, was talking about some clarification on the airplanes and everything else. So on the 737 Max issue, that's primarily what's driving this move.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody knew it was going to be bad. So the fact that it was a little bit worse, a lot worse than normal, it's got
Yeah.
a one-time charge in there too. So when they take a big write-off, there's a little bit of clarification, of how hard of a hit they're going to get hit by the 737 Max issue.
Yeah. Yeah. So this will be interesting, guys. Again, it's got a good pre-market activity right now, so I like the way that's moving. We'll definitely keep an eye on it. For me personally, it's not one of my best trading stocks, so I will probably take it off my final list. But we'll do some levels for it because it can trade very well when it has catalyst behind it. Here we have DNLI. What's this one? I don't think we've seen this one before.
That's gapping up on a secondary anyway,
Okay, yeah, it looks crappy right now, so we'll remove this one. Next we have.
or
Go ahead.
gapping down on a second. Yeah, it's gapping down on a secondary. My
Yep.
apologies.
No worries. AMD, this is going to be one of my favorite ones today. This had earnings last night. We got a great pre-market activity now. Look at the volume, 1.4 million shares traded, and we're sitting right at a very important level of support, barely holding on to it. So we'll see if we can manage to bounce back from that. Norm, how were these earnings yesterday?
Well, the earnings were okay. They actually beat. The problem that's tanking this is really some crummy guidance, especially for the current quarter. So that's what's going on there.
Gotcha. Yeah, and again, and these guys, I mean, I know they're gapping down now a little bit here, 5.3. Well, actually, that's a lot for AMD. But I mean, just look at the rip we've been having since October. I mean, this
Yeah.
is don't get confused that this is a weak stock. Overall, this thing has been trading very well. The great thing about us is that we can trade it short today and long next week, so it doesn't matter, right? Intraday, us the day traders, we can take advantage of both sides of the coin here, so which is great to have. But today, man, they're
You know,
moving very well.
yeah. Well, I actually anticipated this selling off a little bit yesterday, and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of institutions and funds that have been long this name for a while and had great returns on it over the last year or so. And I figured they might be a little bit antsy about these earnings because with the run it's been on, without a perfect earnings and guidance and conference call, it was bound to take a hit. So I'm not surprised it's down. I'm kind of shocked there wasn't more profit taking yesterday.
Yeah, I agree with it as well. So we'll see what we do here. Again, pre-market activity is very active, as you can see. Amazing volume off of AMD. Definitely one of the top ones on my list this morning. All right, heading back down here, we do have XL and X back on our list here this morning. Let's see what they're doing. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This was not on our list. I'm confusing with the other one that sounds kind of like this one. That was a different one. So this one is down 8.5. Pre-market activity is a little bit choppy at the moment. This is a nice big drop. It seems to be a very choppy daily trading style. You can tell by the daily chart here. You have just a lot of chop within the area, but you do have this beautiful drop here, holding on to a level here that you can see in the October, November, December. It looks like almost once a month we test this level here. at least during this 3 month period here, and now we're back at that level. Norm, what's going on with this one today? What's the news on it?
Well, I just want to say I really don't look into the stock too deeply because I
Hmm.
took my worst day trading loss ever on this once
Oh,
last
this is yours.
early about a year ago.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so whenever I hear this name, I kind of want to puke. This is my Yelp.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
so anyway, they had earnings. I believe they beat earnings, but their guidance was terrible.
Hmm.
So they're getting hit. This is a 5G play.
Gotcha. So again, pre-market right now is not looking all that great, anyways. But you're right. We all have that one ticker that has been has caused a lot of pain. We keep in our minds, and we don't touch ever again. That's for sure.
And to be fair, it wasn't Xilinx's fault. It was mine. I mean, I broke every rule in the book when I did that. That's how that
Yeah, yeah.
works.
Oh God, we all been there. All right, so here it is. BHVM. Let's look at this one next. BHVN. Sorry, N and not M. This one right now, gapping down as well, 11.5. Very interesting daily chart here. I don't want to say it's bad, but you do have some kind of range. Not pretty, not great, but you do have some kind of range here between 59 and 52. We're gapping down 11% this morning with some good volume. Pre-market activity is okay, it's decent. If you take this candle out of the way, it doesn't look as choppy. You can see here is you got some kind of pre-market activity happening. So we'll put it on here. Norm,
On a
any
secondary, by
exciting
the way.
news? Ah, you're
It's not.
killing.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
it's on a
killing my
secondary,
mood,
buddy.
man. All right, so we'll take it off. Just secondary stuff,
Look
guys,
what
doesn't
just
trade
popped
well.
up.
What was that?
Beyond the Meat just
Oh,
popped onto our
yes,
list.
yes. Let's look at Beyond the Meat, guys. BYND. Let's go see what we got going on here. Andrew must be killing himself right now that we're pronouncing that Beyond the Meat. Um,
He's tried to fix it, but I think it's too late.
yeah,
The
it's too
cat's out
late.
of the bag.
Yep, yep. So BYND, guys, good pre-market activity. I feel like BYND starts like this almost every morning, right? Every morning it's just it runs up here, hits the high, creates a high of the pre-market, comes back down, and then later as we get closer to 9:30, starts doing this crazy thing, and then you get a pop right before the open. I mean, it's been doing that over and over again. If you look at the daily, I'm gonna remove some of the levels we have in here, although they look pretty good actually. But I'm gonna actually, you know what? They look pretty good now that I'm looking at it. Because since we've been consolidating here, we've just been bouncing off these levels, so there's still pretty good levels there. But again, this consolidation here, this up and down, has created again just a little bit of chopping on the daily. But overall, it just looks like it might want to break out and test this 135 eventually. It just has that look on the daily, but we'll see. Again, great volume, guys. 764,000 shares traded, up 2.6% this morning with a great pre-market activity. We'll keep an eye on BYND. Just looking at our gappers list on Trade Ideas, see if there's anything else that I might have
And
missed.
just it popped. It was actually trading down pretty substantially this morning.
Yep.
And the news came out. They said that they ran some tests at KFC last year in Atlanta that had overwhelming success.
Mm-hmm.
And they are doing some testing now. KFC is doing some testing now in Charlotte and Nashville and expanding current tests. So it looks like they're trying to replace chicken with this stuff now.
Wow, man, they're taking over. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Fake chicken, Hector. Yeah. All right, let's look at no. What else you have on your list? I know Apple is one that it's actually Apple was
Apple.
on this list. I
Apple
don't,
will
I don't
be
know what
there.
happened to it.
Yeah, it dropped off. It's at 1.9% gap
Right.
up. So it's super heavy volume. At 900,000 shares is substantial for Apple. I'll definitely have my eye on this today.
Yep. Excellent. What is MU doing with all this movement on AMD? No, they're not doing anything today, so we'll skip them.
Nothing.
Just want to look at a Roku, see what Roku's up to. We haven't looked at Roku in some time because we've been having a lot of other
Nothing.
great stocks to trade. Yeah, this is dead. No movements lately. And let's just take a quick look at Facebook. I'm sure you looked at
Tesla's
that
back
already.
up to 573.
What was
Yeah,
that?
Facebook's. I said Facebook's up one and a half.
Yep.
Not great pre-market activity,
Yeah.
just
Yep.
pretty flat. But what was the one? Tesla is up 1.1%. It's back up in the 570s again. So
Wow. Just amazing.
interesting play here in this
Yeah.
consolidation pattern. They've got earnings coming up here pretty soon as well.
Yep. Their earnings in a couple of days.
I think it's on Thursday off the top of my head. Sorry,
Okay.
there's so many this week. I can't keep them
No, no
straight.
worries, man.
So,
No
no,
worries.
man, they're tonight.
Tonight. Oh, sweet. Looking forward to that. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what Tesla does on earnings this evening.
Maybe there'll be dancing.
Absolutely. Hopefully there will be. All right, guys, let's start checking out what we have here. I'm gonna start with YouTube this morning first. Let's look at that. So we have GE. I heard GE over the radio. They were having earnings either today or this morning. They're up 7.2 right now. Now this one is not on our gappers list, guys, because the ATR is probably really small. Definitely below 50 cents. Yep, 29 cents here. So this is the reason
Yeah.
why that's not showing there. Now GE doesn't move well. The few times I have traded GE has been on earnings or any type of news that has caused a pop here.
It,
You know,
it can move well. It just barely moves is the
right.
problem. I don't look at it ever because I don't want to spend 6 hours waiting on a 12-cent move.
Yep, yep, exactly. And then on top of that, you have to take a large number of shares, which is okay because this thing is not going to drop, guys, $1 on you. That's not going to happen on GE, right? So it's a very huge stock. This is far from a low flow, although the pricing is very low. It's you had to take a lot of shares, and I'm comfortable taking less shares, right? So it's also part of the reason why I don't look at GE as much. Today they're very active, guys. We'll definitely do some levels for anyone that wants to watch GE this morning. So we'll throw it on there, but it won't be one of my main stocks on the list. So we'll put GE on here. All right, perfect.
So we got a question, and I want to mention this, and
Yeah,
people might wonder. We've got a newer member in the chat that asked, why don't we focus exclusively on the Gappers watch list and leave out other stuff like when we're looking for GE or when you ask me if I'm seeing anything. There's several reasons, but one of them is, we have specific settings in the Gappers list to give us our best opportunities, and that limits some things. For instance, in GE's case, it's limited because the ATR isn't big enough. Now, think of it this way, though. The ATR goes back over, it's a 14-day average, generally, is what we look at. So over the last 14 days, maybe it's only trading 48 or 49 cents as an ATR. But if it got good news, it could be gapping up, 200%. I'm not saying GE is, but just, theoretically, something could be gapping up huge. It could be in play. So you kind of got to expand. Now, on a day like this, I will focus on the gappers because we've got a great list. But there are days, let's say in the summer when there's no earnings and stuff like that, where we have to expand a little bit. So, to try to find things that might be good to trade.
yeah, I agree with that. There's again, and also just for you can it's our routine, right? So you have that routine, and some days, as you mentioned, you're gonna find stuff that looks good in there. Some days you're gonna find stuff that does not. But also, I want to see what's out there, and just make sure that I'm not missing out
Yeah.
on anything, and kind of get the best opportunity as well. So it's a lot that we can learn from it. But I agree with you, man. Some days I'll be like, wait, why am I going to the Nasdaq Active, Nasdaq Gainers? Like today, I
Yeah.
didn't look at it today. We haven't looked at it yet.
Well, and
Um,
I go through it about 10 times faster than you do too. I click, 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 click.
mhm.
And if one sticks out, it sticks out.
Yep,
Um,
yep. So example,
so
a
anyway.
great thing like a day like today. There's no reason why we will take any of these like Eric or any of these stocks that are not trading well. But you'd be surprised. Some people might be looking at that and they might want to know, hey, why don't you have this one on our list? And we'll go through it and kind of give them our feedback on what that stock is. So, all right, guys, we're doing good on time. Let's go here to our now that we talk about the Nasdaq Active, Nasdaq Gainers. Let's just go through it real quick. Make sure we don't miss anything. And sometimes here we do find some really good low flow stocks to trade. For anyone that's trading low flow stocks, I don't trade them, but there's been some people that do trade that. GNXP has got some volume here. This is the one that's been has a kind of weird daily here, so be careful with this one. But it's got some good volume. Eric's always on this list, not great. CNAT, penny stock. Apple we have. HEPA, actually this one we have looked at in the past before when it had this good move here, and it gave us some good play. So this one is pretty active today, kind of selling down up 25%. But again, like a day like today, I need to see something that looks great to be able to put it on this list, since we have so many that are good right now. FCL always on this list, not looking good. BYND on here already. We have it. SRNE, this one not looking great right now. GNXP, HEPA, we have 8. I'm sorry, we looked at already. 8TIF, nothing going on there. GNPX, we have looked at. BIMI, no good. UMRX, crappy. MTSI, not good. CTCO, not good. Yes, not a lot that looks great here. So I'm definitely going to not be adding anything from there from that list besides what we already have, AMD, Apple, and BYND. So all right, let's take a look at YouTube here to see what these guys have. So right now we looked at GE. Just want to go back. Where's my? There it is. All right, so GE, MCD. Let's see what MCD's up to. McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot right now. A whole lot going on in McDonald's. It's
They
got
had
some
they had
volume.
earnings. They had earnings with a slight beat, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of meh,
Yeah, yeah, no, nothing exciting
like
here
their
for
food.
sure. Yep, it's kind of like everybody expected what they got, and it's like, oh, this okay, guys, just regular
Yep.
day for us. All right, so let's look at that. We'll see. We have Lee, not Lee from our chat room, but this Lee here. It's got some volume, guys, but this is more of a penny stock, and again, not trading very well at all. So just stay away from this one. This doesn't look good. GE, we looked at BYND. We have okay. What else we have? YNDX. I like YNDX, and the reason is because I have the few trades I have taken on YNDX. I have done pretty good at. Have traded very well, but today they're not doing anything exciting, guys. No volume. They're not gapping up or down. No pre-market activity. So today's not a day to watch it. At least not on. If you're looking for that main watch list at the open, look at my recap yesterday. I talk about how to watch your main watch list, and you can have your possibles on here. For your main watches, you want to have things that are already kind of boiling up and just ready to explode, right? This is what you want to have on here. Here you can have your YNDX, your other stocks that might have some news in the background, your McDonald's, and then later on in the morning switch to them. But right now, you want to have the stuff that's just, is sizzling at the moment, right? Ready to go. Okay, guys. How about in our chat? What do we have here? So, kind of
We've
same.
got several things popping up on the gappers that are new as
Oh
well.
yeah, so someone mentioned that also there on the chat. So let's see. LB we have BYND, MPC is no good. BAPCG. What else we have? GW, GLW here. All right, what's going on with this one? So this is down 2%. Pre-market is looking okay. We do have some volume starting to get going. You can see here 8:30 we start to have some volume spike up a little bit here. That's good. And the daily, not the best, but I do like the fact that we're gapping down below some of these areas of support. And this could be interesting. We can definitely watch this. This could be interesting. Let's see how it gets going. Also, it looks like the volume just starting to come in here around 8 o'clock, 8:30. So that's good. What else we have? eBay. So eBay, it is down 4.2 with some volume. I like eBay. Look at the support we have on eBay right now. We're either going to bounce from here pretty nice, or we can have a nice sell-off. So I think eBay is a good one, even if it becomes a possible. eBay is definitely worth watching. And we'll do one more is on here on our gappers list, and then we'll go over to announcements. So this morning, yeah, I'm not sure about let me see. Yeah, pre-market's okay. I'm not
I know it
sure.
was all over the place yesterday. It was on our Benzinga Squawk
Oh, it was.
constantly
Yeah,
being talked about. Yeah.
this huge drop. You had a after hours. Actually, not
No, it
after
was
hours. It
during the
was
market.
during the
I
market.
kept,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. So again, so this could be interesting for a possible continuation play. Yeah, we could watch this. Let's look at it. What was the reason for the drop yesterday?
Ah, I don't know. It's a Brazilian stock. I don't really pay attention to it.
Oh, it is. Okay, so I'm not.
All right, I think
Yeah.
it's Brazilian, based out of Luxembourg or something like
Yep.
that.
Yep. Yeah. So
So
I might not watch. This is a big drop, guys. Going from $25 down to well, yesterday at least. I'm sorry, not that's not today. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was looking at the 5 minute chart. I'm like, wait a minute. But no, the drop is from $6 to $5. Still a decent drop. But again, if it's a foreign stock, I probably don't want to touch it. DNILI. We looked at this one, I think, right? Yeah, I think we did.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
guys,
secondary
secondary
offer.
offering. Yeah, we looked at this one, Tim. Yeah, so this is no good for now. We'll skip that one. All right, folks, let's get over to announcements, and then we'll come back, fine tune this list, get some levels on here. Here we go.
All right, guys. In case you haven't heard, the DAS replay feature is live. I did hear that IB people can get it as well now. So you have to have a beta version if you're willing to do that of DAS, but you can get it hooked up. So one of our longtime traders, Lee, I spoke to him yesterday. He tried it out for the first time. He said it was great. So anyway, great reviews on that. Success webinars tonight, the one we've all been waiting for after Nas' great run on options. We're going to have him and Andrew talking about day trading options. It'll be at 8 p.m. tonight in the Lifetime classroom. And then Jonathan Katz is a psychologist, performance coach. He'll be talking about mental prep and routine next Wednesday. After that, we've got Mike Bellafiore from SMB Capital. And following that will be Ed Martin from Average Joe Trader for a 2-week, 2-part series on trend trading. YouTube Live, Ask Me Anything. It's been quite a while, several months since we've done one of these. Thor and Peter will be doing that on our YouTube channel tomorrow night, Thursday, January 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Andrew's trying to make his way to the Middle East, so getting a meetup potentially in Dubai together for February. The date is not yet been announced. See the forum link that ABL put up, and if you're interested in going, you can figure out when and where to do that, coordinate with Andrew. If you're watching us on YouTube and haven't been in the room but would like to give it a shot, you can do so at a discount with the promo code premarket24. No hyphens, spaces, premarket 24, and it does not auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership. Andrew, Carlos, and myself are all very active on Twitter. You can follow us at Bear Bull Traders, at Carlos M BBT, or at Norm BBT. When we put out watch list trades, thoughts, all kinds of different stuff. Anyway, thank you guys. Also, if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you'll be notified whenever we go live with new content. And we always sincerely appreciate the thumbs up on the YouTube feed.
Excellent. Thank you, Norm. All right, folks, let's get into this nice little watch list we have here. Let's start here with LB. So LB right now putting a very active pre-market activity with some good volume. Let's remove some of these levels. Looks like we have some levels from the past when this thing had gapped down. I'm just going to remove those now. Let's go to our daily here. So our high of our pre-market right now sitting at 2380. So that's a good spot right there, 2380. We'll mark that down. And then towards the bottom, our low of our pre-market is really below below this nice level I want to mark. It's right here, 2121 is a better level I want to have on there. So I'm going to mark that there from this daily. You can mark the low of the pre-market. It's at 2092, but I think this 2121 is going to be important. Let's head towards the top, but before we do that, we do have to get some levels within this area here. There's a big gap in space here, so we do want to have something here towards the bottom. Looks like within here we can have some levels in there. So obviously this is a very good level here, 2159. In here, I know it doesn't look great, but I'll explain it in a second. 2248 is a nice level. Look how many days are opening and closing right on that level, and then you have several bounces off of that. One being here. Whoops, right there. Another one being right over here, and also support and resistance right on this level here. So 2248 looks like it's a lot of action that happens around that level. So I'm definitely going to mark that down. It's also a good midway point between the price action now and your low of your days all the way down there. Above the 2379, which is our high of our pre-market, this daily, we do have a level right on here. 2476, another one all the way up here, 2621. And then one up here at 2798. So again, pretty good levels. And just for our new members, you can see here, this is what we're looking at. Look at the resistance happening there, the change in direction. Up again, another resistance happening there at this level, right? 2476. Another change in direction, right? We go back up one more time. This time we tested once. We'll come back and test this level we have here of 2379. Come right back up against this 2476. This time on the following day, we're able to break out of that. And obviously, you're getting this pop here. Again, without knowing if there's any news or anything like that, most likely you're getting this pop because you broke a very significant level here, 2476. Can you imagine how many people were waiting here to go short because we have done this 1, 2, 3 times. This time you break out of that. You got a nice, beautiful pop, creating another level here of 2621. And then here you have that 2621 being tested both long and short. So this is kind of what we're looking for when we go through this watch list, where we have several areas of resistance or support that changes direction drastically. The more a level is tested, the more drastic is tested as well, the stronger that level is going to be. So that's what we're looking for. Let's start with P PCG here. Let's go back. PCG this morning doesn't have the best pre-market activity, guys. Does have some volume in here. Our high of our pre-market sitting at 1572. Below that, you do have your previous day close, which seems to be the best level. I'm not going to mark down the low of the pre-market at 1519 because I think that's going to be tested right now and probably broken. So we'll just keep the 1572. And then once you go below the previous day close, which is a very important level that you must have on your charts, guys. If you don't have this, if you're in YouTube and you're trading with a different software, just make sure you have this level. It's very important, obviously. And then below, you have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days on here with some moving averages. Again, PCG has been very strong over the last couple of days. So we'll see what they get out of this. And they got an upgrade this morning, as Norm mentioned earlier. So keep an eye out for some possible long plays there. Above this 1572, we got a great level on the daily, 1693. You can see that right on there, being tested several times. And then above that, the top of that consolidation is going to be 1927. So I'm going to mark that down here as well. All right, let's go down to BA. So BA, again, very active, good pre-market activity. The price action is right at a level, guys. Look at this level right here. We got here on the daily as well. So I'm going to mark that down. It's going to be this one here, right at where the price action is right now. This will be 325. So just definitely mark that down. You can see a lot of areas. Man, my thing here is getting pretty squeaky. This is very old, guys. I gotta put some oil on that or something. So 325 is a level there. Above that, we have a nice one here, also at 332.56. So we'll mark that down. Then above that, we do have another great level here at 339.71. You can see several days testing that as support, and then here as resistance in the last couple of days. So pretty good daily here, pretty good activity. At the moment, I am going to mark down the high of the pre-market sitting at 328.60. So you want to mark that down. Already got a nice bounce off of that this morning. So we'll see how that plays out as we get closer to 930. Here's AMD, guys. Here's going to be one of my favorite stocks to trade. And we are holding this level here, guys. It's going to be a very important level. Your low from 2 days ago. So we're holding that right there. There's a lot of action happening. Look how when we get close to this level, look at the volume increase that we just received. See that? Before this, we already had 1.4 million shares traded in here, in this area here. Within here, we probably gained another 800,000 shares or something, right? So you can tell how much the volume increases at this level, at this 47.90. So definitely mark that on your list. Below that, if we lose that level, we have a very nice one here at 46.64. Below that, we have another one down here at 45. It's a good one as well. High of the pre-market sitting right where moving average is at the moment. That is 48.85. So we'll mark that down. And then above that, we got plenty, guys. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, previous day close. Do not add any more on here. All right, so what do we have? Let's look at XLNX. This one on here is scapping down quite a bit, 6.7. I do have 92.60 here. And then towards the low of the day, low of the pre-market, we do have $90 towards the low of the pre-market. Looking at the daily chart, guys, this one we have one all the way down here, level 87.50.54. Nice little breakdown right here. Look at this low of the pre-market at 90. How great support that has been here. So you have a lot of support in this area here at that 90 level. So above the high of the pre-market, you have one right on here, guys, at 93. I'll tell you what I'm seeing now at 93. Basically $94, 93.99. You can see several days using that as support and resistance, bouncing off of that. So you definitely want to mark that down. Looks like whole dollar numbers on this stock are very important to it. So definitely keep an eye on this. This one is not my favorite this morning. Might not make my final list, but we do have it on here. It is very active. It is down 6% this morning. And at the moment, it's putting in probably a good pre-market activity the way it's bouncing back here from this 90 level. BYND. Let's see what we got going on here. So we dropped down today, as Norm mentioned. This is the previous day close here. We dropped down, we came back up, red to green move, and now we're kind of banging our heads on this level, 124.49. And that level we actually had here from before. Let's look at our daily. This is not a new level we just added today. If you look here, we had this from I'm assuming previous pre-market highs, right? That's what I'm assuming this is, because you have several days on here that are not opening, closing around that level, but this must be a previous pre-market high that we have here. So we'll keep it on there. For BYND, we have plenty of levels already since we've been watching this one the last couple of days. 129.64, 135.26 is a big level for it that we've been getting some good rejections off. Towards the bottom, we have 113.11, 107, 99, and 91. So again, plenty of levels here. We've kind of been stuck within this consolidation between 129 and 120. You can see the bouncing just back and forth here. So let's see if BYND has the strength to break out today and possibly test this a 129 and 135. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Here is GE at the moment, guys. GE is has earnings 1275 high of the pre-market. Towards the bottom, you do have this area of support, of resistance here that can now become support, 1220. Let's head back because I know GE has definitely traded a lot higher than this. Maybe not in the most recent times. What's the next level above this 12? Here we go, 12 or 13 bucks. All right, so right in here, you do have 1375. That'll be a miracle if GE can get there, but you never know. And then you have another one on here at a 1321, excuse me. So we'll see how GE plays. This is not one of the stocks I'm probably going to keep on my list, but we do have some levels for it just in case. GLW. So GLW, we put this on towards the end. It showed up in our gappers list. We do have some levels for this now, but I am going to remove these and just do some new ones. Low of the pre-market sitting at a 27.19, guys. A very nice level there. You can see how on the daily, how that has been tested before in the past. But when we did break down from that, we ran right to this 26.80. So definitely mark that down on your list. Above that, you have the previous day close on there as well. You do have on here, you do have a level as well of support, 27.67. You can see the drop and then the push back up. And on this nasty daily chart, you can see in here several days are opening and closing around that area. So you can see that on there as well. All right, so above the previous day close, you have your highs and lows from the last two trading days. Do not need to add anymore. And right now, things are getting a little stale here on this one. It started very well, a nice, beautiful drop this morning, kind of flattening out off this 27.19. So hopefully this can get a little bit better. But this started off very well in this beautiful drop going green to red. So let's see if that continues. Let's look at eBay. So eBay also on one that looks pretty good, guys, right now. Not in the pre-market activity itself. This one doesn't look all that great. But on the daily, you are sitting right where the price action is at a level. And then below that, you do have 34.52. And then our low of our pre-market is already tested 34.10 or 11. So we'll mark that down. Above that, guys, our highs and lows are doing a pretty good job. Look at your highs and lows at 30, around 30, 35.50 is good, 35.75. And then over here, your previous day close are doing some good levels on there that you can mark down on your list. So eBay looks good. Pre-market doesn't look great, so this could be a good possible. Right now, it's not looking all that exciting, but if we can lose some of these levels here, definitely going to be interesting to go for a short on this one. So I is a foreign stock, but it does have some good pre-market activity at the moment. I'm sorry, not good pre-market activity. It had a great after hours or intraday play yesterday towards the close. It had a nice drop here from $6 down to $5. Daily looks interesting. Let's just go back and see. Yeah, guys, this type of stock I'm probably not going to watch. Your highs and you don't need to add any more levels. Your highs and lows already on here have some really good levels. I'm going to focus. Is there anything else? Let's focus. Anything else below that 5 or this all-time low? No, there's something here. So we do have going back into 2018. I'm just going to mark one level here towards the bottom, 358. And then within here, you have another one right on here at 459. So we'll mark that down just to have some levels towards the bottom. But this will be on my secondary list. I'm not going to be watching this one, guys. I'm going to focus on the other stuff that I really have up here. All right, let's Apple. Apple all-time high, correct? This is an all-time high here in Apple. So I'm going to mark that down. Our high is sitting at 327.91. So we'll mark that down. And then our low at 322.74. That's all you really need on Apple, guys. So again, I think that's good for Apple. We'll see what that does. Actually, looking at the volume, Apple has a lot of volume. Usually, you get about 600, but this 1 million, that's a lot of volume. That's a little bit of more than what we usually see on Apple. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Definitely like that one. And then we have Tesla here as well. Don't need to add any more levels, guys. Your all-time high sitting up here. Highs and lows within the price action right now towards the top and bottom. So that's Tesla. All right, folks. Now I'm going to fine-tune this list a bit.
One more note on AMD, and I apologize. I don't have a TV in my office at the moment. I know the CEO of AMD was going to be interviewing with Kramer on CNBC this morning at some point. I don't know if it's already taken place, is taking place now, or is going to. So just keep that in your mind that with those interviews, she is on right now. Thank you, Master Chief. So that's probably what's responsible for some of these moves.
Oh, okay.
That we're seeing this drop that we just got.
Yep. All right, that makes sense. Also, we forgot about Starbucks. Starbucks yesterday actually had earnings. So that could be exciting to watch. And again, this is the weird stock because it had earnings just yesterday after hours, but this drop happened, a few days ago. I'm assuming this was because of the virus news or whatever it was.
Yeah,
But
they
it,
shut down stores in China, I think is what prompted that
Ah,
drop.
that makes sense because even with the drops, we had a lot of stocks that recovered a little bit. This one didn't, so we'll see what it does today. So let's lose some levels for Starbucks. This could be a good one. Also, we have 90 here, 90.74. We have the highs and lows listed between where the price action is now. We're breaking out of the previous day close, so this could be interesting. I'm not gonna have this as a main list. I'm going to have this down here as a possible. So my possibles this morning, Starbucks. I'm gonna remove I actually don't want to watch I. So we'll remove this one. eBay, I think it's a good possible as well based on the level that it's sitting at. So we'll bring it down, make some room over here. GLW, this one also I'm gonna bring it down as well. So we have I like LB, PCG, BA, AMD, XLNX. This one is starting to get a little more active. That's good. And we have BYND and GE. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, GE. I'm gonna put you down here. Here we go. So that is our list at the moment. So here's my main list, guys, and here's my possibles. As we get closer to 9:30, obviously we'll be looking to see what looks better. If something looks better down here, we can move it up. Starbucks, though, Starbucks starting to look pretty good. And I'm going to actually remove PCG and let's move Starbucks up here. I think Starbucks is a better one to watch this morning. And then PCG we can put as a possible. We can see what that does later on. So we have Starbucks, BYND, XL, NX, AMD, BA, and LB as our main watch list. All right, so in the room, GE, Thor is watching GE, AMD, LB, and a backup as eBay. Andrew posted his watch list. He's watching BYND, LK, AMD, LB, eBay, and Apple. So that's what we have so far, guys. The rest of the moderators will be posting their lists on here, and we'll fine tune as we get closer to 8:30. On YouTube, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We appreciate you guys being with us this morning. Take care. Let's trade together. Well, let's prepare together again tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time. Have a great trading day, and see you guys tomorrow.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.